Hello everyone, Tim Game here, and today I'm bringing you a very special commentary, because today the commentary is going to be nothing about the gameplay at all. Today the commentary is all going to be about what I want to see in Black Ops 2, which it's highly likely, I think 99% certain, that is what the next Call of Duty will be, Black Ops 2. It's going to be made by Treyarch, under Activision's overall heads, you know, just like it's been in the last 4 or 5 years. But you might be sitting there thinking, it's a little bit early for you to be going on about Black Ops 2. I mean, Modern Warfare 3 has only just been released. It was released in November. What is the point of doing this so early? Well, the point of doing this so early is this is the stage of development in the Call of Duty where community feedback is really taken in. Because once you start to get to June, July, August this year, it'll be too late for them to implement anything major. Obviously, they'll still be listening to the community, but anything more than slight tweaks will be impossible to implement, because they would have put so much work into the Call of Duty. If people say, no, we don't like that at all, start again, it'll just completely destroy their plans. So what I want to do is get this out there as early as possible to try and inspire a bit of debate in the comments and through PM or whatever, however you want to contact me. But the things I'm going to suggest now are my serious suggestions. I'm not being flippant, I'm not being obtuse, I'm not trying to be just deliberately annoying. I'm desperately trying to think up of some viable suggestions for Black Ops 2. Now, I'm going to get off straight away with one I think that will be massively supported by the majority of players out there, which is no death streaks. Death streaks, in theory, are a decent idea, because in theory you're supposed to help out the weaker players when they're struggling. So that's not a bad thing, because I remember back to COD 4, if you were a bad player, you just got stomped. Now, I ploughed through that and got better, and now I'm a decent Call of Duty player. But I can understand if you're a new player to the Call of Duty series and you come in against this clan of 6 people who really know what they're doing, they will just smash you and you might not have a good time. So death streaks are there to try and make it fairer. But the way they've been implemented is just so bad. I mean, just the examples that I'm going to refer to here. Painkiller. Painkiller was the most annoying thing about Modern Warfare 2, and that had some very stiff competition for things that were annoying. I mean, I'm going to get onto some of them later, but the ability to survive 3 sniper rounds, 3, when normally it's a one-hit kill, 3 is too many. Especially if you're using an intervention, a bolt action, you can't just spray them down. You hit them in the upper chest, you think, yeah, that's a good shot, he takes a hit. You pull back the bolt, shoot him again, he takes a hit, pull back the bolt, and by the time you've done that, he's knifed you, and you're dead. And that is awful, but I have to say, the worst one is in Modern Warfare 3, and that is Dead Man's Hand. Because Final Stand is annoying as well, but at least with Final Stand, once you get onto the floor, even though you've got your primary weapon, you still have to aim to kill someone. With Dead Man's Hand, you hit the deck and you mash one button and you explode, and that is so annoying. And I've been killed by it many times, and I don't think Infinity Ward realised how commonplace it's going to be, because when they put Final Stand and Dead Man's Hand in the death streaks, I think they thought that they'd only be once a game, but if you're up against a good team, you are going to die a lot. And it's not hard in a game as hectic as Modern Warfare 3 to string 4 deaths together, especially if you're a bad player. So then you'll get all of these annoying death streaks a lot more common than I think Infinity Ward realised. So Dead Man's Hand is a massive no-no. And Final Stand as well is very annoying. I mean, it's especially even more annoying when Robert Bowling stood up on stage and went F you last stand, and then put an even worse version of it in as a death streak. So death streaks are a terrible idea, and I hate them. I don't know any one of my friends, and I have about 30-40 friends who play Call of Duty quite regularly. I don't know anyone who likes death streaks. They are despised the community over. If you are desperate to have them into the game, and I mean desperate, what I would do is do things such as Juiced. Juiced is a good death streak because it doesn't influence gunfights too much, but it will enable you to run away from a very hot area, so you don't get killed as easily. So you can sprint away, recover, regroup, and come back. That's a good death streak. Another potential idea that I had was the ability to quickly choose not to spawn at some place. So you die, you've triggered your death streak, you will get a 5-second preview of the spawn, possibly from above, so you can see it. If you don't like the spawn, you click square. And once you've clicked square, you'll be assigned one random other spawn that you can't choose. So this just stops people sitting there clicking square again and again and again until they get their spawn. But if the first spawn they were going to be put in is a death trap, they have the abilities to get out. Now, I just want, I'm just punting this idea out there. I haven't really thought about it too deeply, but that's one that came to mind straight away. So I'd love to hear what you guys think about that. Okay, that's death streaks covered. The second major one is panic knifing. Now, panic knifing has been a problem right the way since COD 4, and it's right up there with the most annoying ways to die in Call of Duty, because the most annoying ways to die is when it's not your fault. And panic knifing is so heavily reliant on connection that the vast majority of times you die to it, it's not your fault. You will turn the corner, you will see each other at the same time, you will pull the trigger first, so you've got bullets going down range, but because the connection's dodgy, the guy will basically knife you through your bullet stream. And that is incredibly, incredibly annoying. Especially once you've put bullets in him. Because if you've put the first bullets into a guy, he shouldn't be able to knife you, press one button to win the fight. If your aim is terrible, yeah, okay, that could be fair enough that he can knife you. But if you're putting bullets on target, he should not be able to run through a stream of bullets to plant a knife in you. So there are three ideas I've really thought about this. The first one is probably the easiest, which is just make a knife a 2-hit kill. Now that removes panic knifing straight away. However, if you've got someone who likes to run around and using knives only, for example, only use me blade, they're quite well known guy on YouTube, or not quite well known, exceptionally well known guy on YouTube, he'll find that quite annoying. So another idea I have was make the knife pull out. So when you click the knife button once, you pull the knife out, and then you click the shoot button to slash it. And that way you can keep it a one-hit kill. Because if you hear someone round the corner and you can think to yourself, right, I'm going to pull my knife out there because I know he's right round the corner. So you can pull your knife out your belt, rush round and get the knife in. But if you run slap bang into someone, that extra second delay of you pulling your knife out means that you can't panic knife someone. If the guy's aim is so bad that you pull the knife out and then slash him and he hasn't killed you, that's his fault. However, at the moment, when you just turn into someone, you can practically run into someone, you put bullets down range, and he just hammers one button to win the gunfight. And I don't think that's particularly fair. But that's a couple of ideas. The third idea I had was, when you're shooting someone, their movement speed decreases. But I don't think that's a particularly good one. But that's just another option if you don't want to tinker with the knife too much. So if you turn the corner, shoot someone, and they're trying to run towards you to knife you, as they take rounds, they slow down. I think there's something very, very similar in Gears of War, and there is something like that in Killzone 3. Well, it might not be like that, but it really does seem that way. Very few times you have people run down your bullet stream on Killzone 3. I mean, a lot of Xbox guys out there wouldn't have any idea what I'm talking about, but a few of you PS3 guys might do. So if you agree with what I say about Killzone 3, post in the comments or whatever. Anyway, that's enough on panic knifing. Third on the list is a balanced stealth perk. Now, I don't think there's been a truly balanced stealth perk since Modern Warfare 2. Because in Modern Warfare 2, you had stopping power. And stopping power against a stealth perk was a perfect balance. Because you could either be stealthy or be more balanced, be more powerful in a gunfight, sorry. With the first Black Ops, Ghost really didn't have much competition. So you could be stealthy, and because sleight of hand, steady aim were in the second perk tier, you could be just as deadly in a gunfight. So you could be completely stealthy and just as deadly in a gunfight. And because Ghost had virtually no competition in that first tier, and because it did so much, it was way overused. So hopefully balance that better. And I have got several ideas for that. First and foremost, one of the ideas which I think I've heard that you're planning to do anyway, is split the Ghost perk into two, so like the Assassin and Blind Eye, and then put them in the same perk tier. And I think that's a fantastic idea, because then you can either be invisible from radar or invisible from kill streaks, not both. And I think that's a good balance. But secondly, on the same topic, you need to make whatever perks you choose, whether it's Assassin, Ghost, whatever you call it, your stealth perk protects you from a lot less than it does already. Because I'll just list what Assassin in Modern Warfare 3 protects you from. The standard perk, this is just, you unlock this. As soon as you unlock it, it protects you from UAV, portable radar, thermal scopes, and heartbeat sensors. And that is a lot. So not only does it protect you from a kill streak, it protects you from a piece of equipment, and 2 attachments. So you could be running thermal, heartbeat, UAV and portable radar, and none of those 4 things can detect an assassin guy, and that is a little bit overpowered. But it gets even worse, because the pro version protects you from counter UAV, EMP, and when you are aiming at a guy with assassin, there's no red name and there's no red crosshair when you aim over him. So that is just even more overpowered. So not only can you be protected from 4 possible means of detection from the enemy team, you no longer have your radar blocked, you no longer have your radar blocked by EMP, and an EMP is a large kill streak, a very large kill streak. And when you're getting looked at, you don't have your name appear. So not only can you not be detected by kill streaks, you can't be detected by attachments, and you can't be detected by eyes. So even the Mark 1 eyeball isn't as good at detecting assassin guys as it is regular guys. And I think that's very, very bad. And also, why did Infinity Ward make assassin protect you from an advanced UAV, which is a 12 kill streak? Now in Black Ops, the first Black Ops, with the Blackbird, you could say it was a little bit overpowered, but what I really liked about the Blackbird was that it didn't distinguish between ghost and non-ghost. You were just found, you were on the radar. The fact that assassin protects you from advanced UAV, especially now that advanced UAV is substantially worse than the Black Ops Blackbird, I think that's a little bit too much. So tone the stealth perk down. Either give it a lot of competition or make it a lot weaker. I think you're beginning to do that anyway. That was just to make me feel better, you know, to say it, to realise that I've noticed it. So I think you're probably going to do that anyway. But my 4th one is Treyarch specific, which is better weapon balance. There's something about Treyarch games. The vast majority of the weapons are normally spot on, but there's always 1 or 2 that are just a little bit too powerful. I mean, go back to World at War, you had the MP40. The MP40 with Juggernaut and extended mags was just the god cannon of that game. It wasn't an over-exaggeration to say that you could go into a lobby of Ground War with 18 people and 12 of them would be using MP40s. That's how powerful that weapon was. So please, just try and make sure that all the weapons are very well balanced. I know it's a very hard thing to do. It's a very hard thing to do, but try and spend a lot more time on that, because we had the same problem with Black Ops. The FAMAS and the AUG to a slightly lesser extent, but especially the FAMAS, was a lot more powerful than the rest of the weapons in the game, because it had high damage, high rate of fire, very little recoil, and all of the high damage assault rifles had a lot slower rate of fire, and all of the high rate of fire assault rifles had a lot lower damage than the FAMAS. So the FAMAS was just on a pedestal on its own with very little competition. And that was very annoying, because if you wanted to try the Commando, for example, you knew that if you turned the corner and ran into a guy with a FAMAS, the FAMAS guy would win 9 times out of 10 because he has a better weapon. So please try and remove a god gun from the game. You know, if you have 20 weapons all roughly balanced, I mean, you're never going to get it perfect, but try and tone down that god cannon style weapon that we've had in the last 2 Treyarch Call of Duties. Another one linking to weapon balance is have good shotguns. I don't know what it is, but it just seems like Call of Duty in general, this is not just Treyarch, because you can see it from Modern Warfare 3 with Infinity Ward. Call of Duty doesn't like shotguns, because if you go back to World at War, for example, you had the trench gun and the double barrel, and they were very, very weak shotguns. I mean, the only time shotguns have ever been good in Modern Warfare or Call of Duty in general was Modern Warfare 2, and that was when the SPAS 12, the AA12, you know, they were good weapons. They were good weapons to use. But if you look at this game now, the Striker is a decent weapon. With extended mags, it might be a little bit too good, but the basic naked Striker is the only shotgun that I could comfortably use, because I have tried all the other shotguns. The SPAS 12 is just a hit marker machine. For a pump action shotguns are supposed to be powerful, so you get a high percentage of one-hit kills. But the thing about them is, if you're not very accurate and you miss that first shot, you're dead. That's how you balance them out. What Infinity would have done is just make the SPAS 12 so weak that it's really difficult to use. And the AA12 in Modern Warfare 3 has virtually no range at all. So whilst it might be fairly powerful in its effective range, the effective range is too small to be worthwhile using. So that's another part on weapon balancing. Please try and make the shotguns viable choices, because I know they're supposed to be challenging, but they're challenging enough already without making them pathetically weak. Because I've said this before in commentary, but with 80%, I'd say about 80% of the time, you are completely unarmed with a shotgun. Because if you turn the end of a street and you see a guy at the other end of a street with an assault rifle, you're going to die. It doesn't matter how good a player you are, unless that guy is so bad that he can't hit you, you are going to die. So try and make the shotguns a little bit more powerful. That's enough on weapon balance. Another Treyarch specific one is, please try and make your maps look nicer. I'm not saying about the map design per se, because I think you design pretty decent maps, I'll have to say that. You know, the vast majority of Black Ops maps I enjoyed, but I mean, especially Summit. I need to give a shout out for Summit. That's the only good snow map in any Call of Duty game, so fantastic job on that. But a lot of your maps are very dull places to be. They're either brown or dark green or grey, and it's unappealing to look at. What I would try and do is just try and brighten up your maps a little bit. I know it's hard, because Call of Duty, you want the man to pop out of the background, so you can't have this gaudy background. I think that was a mistake in one of the Modern Warfare 2 DLC maps. It was a carnival map. It might be called Carnival, but it was the carnival map, and that was too bright, so you'd lose players in the gaudy colours. So don't go that far, but try and make them just look a little bit more appealing. That is a very important thing, because that was one of the things that really brought Black Ops down for me, because the core Black Ops game was, I think, the best in Call of Duty history. And I know that's a big claim, but I think the trimmings, just the little niggles, brought it down, and it's the little niggles that really make a big difference in Call of Duty. So try your best to make the maps look appealing. I'll move on now to something that I think Infinity Ward really dropped the ball on this time, and that is the leaderboard system. Black Ops introduced a quite fantastic leaderboard system. It was based on score per minute, not how much time you played. So if you only played for 2 days, but those 2 days you really kick some ass, you could be right at the top of the leaderboard. Now it's all about how much time you've played. So you could play for 4 months and play absolutely dross for those 4 months, but because you've played 4 months, you're top. So keep the leaderboards score per minute based. I think that's a good thing, and I really hope Infinity Ward change leaderboards. Robert Bowling's mentioned it briefly on his Twitter, so I hope they change it before the end of Modern Warfare 3, but I see that as a very important thing, because it just decentralizes people to play objectives. Because another thing, in domination, demolition, sabotage, Infinity Ward's leaderboards don't tell you how many flags you've capped in the game, or bombs you've planted, or bombs you've defused, and that is a real negative. And you've several times when you play domination on Call of Duty, you will see some guy finish top with like 80 or 90 kills, and you'll see some guy finish second with like 40 kills, and the guy who's finished second is only like 100 points behind the guy who's finished top. And you sit there and you think, that guy who's finished top blatantly just camped his ass up until he got his Osprey gunner, and then went to town. Say on Village, you went to town with it on Village. And it's unfair, because that guy in second, who broke his back capturing 10, 15 flags, it finishes second because the guy at the top was just a kill whore. So please try and show flag caps, bomb plants, bomb diffuses in the in-game leaderboard, as well as in the lobby leaderboard, so like the one you can just look at through barracks. And definitely make the leaderboard score per minute based, not time based. This is my penultimate one. There were little niggly ones, but I didn't want to say too many. But my penultimate one is regular patches. Now, this is something that I think you'll do anyway, but I just want to say how important it is. Just even if they're not big patches, just to see the developer still putting work into the game after release is just brilliant. Because Black Ops was supported better than any Call of Duty ever. And I mean, Treyarch's level of support is fantastic. A lot better than Infinity Ward's. But Infinity Ward, I think have twigged how important this is to the community, because they're making a much better effort with Modern Warfare 3. I mean, Modern Warfare 2, I'll give you examples. For example, the care package and the javelin glitch, they were in the game for weeks, and these were major glitches. I mean, every single person in Call of Duty knew how to do the javelin glitch, and they couldn't. I don't know whether they couldn't or just didn't want to patch it, but it was either or, and it just got so frustrating. And there was that one rock in a map where you could get into it for about 4 months. So every single time you would walk past that rock, you get shot in the back, and you couldn't kill the guy in the rock. He was in the rock, but he could shoot out, and that didn't get patched for ages. But from what I've seen, especially from Black Ops, I have no worries about that. But I just wanted to reiterate how important this is for the community to see regular patches. But I'll move on to my sort of final one. It's split into 2 parts, but my final one. Firstly, keep the kill streak, point streak system as it is in Modern Warfare 3. It's way overdue for players to get rewards for capturing objectives, planting bombs, all that. I think it's a brilliant innovation to finally get rewarded for being an objective player. I love that. Although the leaderboards suck in Modern Warfare 3, they have finally understood that the people who capture objectives are the ones who win your games, and they deserve credit for capturing objectives. Personally, for example, for capturing the B flag, I would give 2 points in a point streak, because obviously the B flag is the most heavily contested normally. Or for planting a bomb in, say, demolition, I would give someone 2 points, because that's always a very hard thing to do. Or sabotage. Planting the bomb in sabotage should definitely be more than 1 point streak. But the fact that the idea has finally been implemented is a fantastic thing. Another thing, sort of linking in with the whole kill streak system, is the assault support specialist layout. I am a big fan of that layout. It just gives you so many more tactical options, and the fact that you can pick your kill streaks for each individual class now, that's a brilliant innovation, because it enables you to experiment a little bit with slightly weird kill streaks that you haven't tried before, but still having your go-to class if you come up against a clan. And I love that, because I love to be able to have 3 or 4 classes set up to experiment, perhaps with strange weapons, strange kill streaks. But if we do find ourselves in a bit of a scrap, you can switch back to your go-to class with your UAV, counter UAV, whatever your solid kill streaks are. Go to that and try and win the game. And I love that innovation, so please keep that. Please keep the 3 prongs of kill streak now: the assault, the specialist, and the support, because I think once again that just gives you so many more tactical options. And there was one more thing that I wanted to talk about. Oh yes, I've remembered. COD points. Now, I'm not a big fan of COD points personally. I just like the level progression, and you unlock things as you level up, and I quite like that with the guns. I think Infinity would have got it pretty right this time, that you unlock your camo and your attachments the more you use the weapon, because that incentivizes people to use weapons. I found it a little bit too easy to just buy the FAMAS, buy the best 2 or 3 attachments for the FAMAS, and just wreck shop. The thing is, what I like about extended mags, for example on the shotguns, because currently they give you extra pellets, and a lot of people are complaining about them, but the fact is, you have to grind through 20 weapon levels to get extended mags. I mean, it's not an easy task, especially if you're using the USAS or the SPAS 12. It's a very hard task. So I would bring that back. Keep the good attachments to the end. So obviously, like, give people a holographic first or extended mags in the middle somewhere, but keep like the dual mags, attachments like that, attachments that give you above and beyond the average attachment bonuses right till the end. So you've got to work through the weapon to get them, and I think that would be a very good addition. Also, if you are going to keep COD points for wager matches, because I did quite like wager matches, but what I would do is do a similar system to the Prestige shop. So you rank up your weapons separately, but for your game performance you're also given COD points. Now these COD points can be used to spend on things in the Prestige shop or the COD point shop. Now these are rare emblems, perhaps they're rare camos, whatever. You can put whatever you want in the COD point shop, but I would like to see the level progression and the weapon progression separate to any COD points, because then when you earn COD points, you can spend them on your new camos or your unusual camos or your new emblems or whatever, and keep the weapon progression separate. I would really like it if you could do that, because I think wager matches were a fantastic new addition, but I didn't like the whole COD point system they brought. So I thought that would be a pretty nice compromise. You still get to keep wager matches, you still get to keep COD points, but you keep the level and weapon progression that I'm quite fond of. But this is the end of the commentary now. I've churned out so many ideas. I hope you guys have managed to take them all in, and I sincerely hope someone from Treyarch watches this. I thoroughly understand you're so busy, and it takes a lot of work to build a Call of Duty up from the ground. But it'd be brilliant to know that even one guy from Treyarch watches this, because I really did sit down and seriously think, from all points of view, from the developer's point of view and from the community's point of view, how we could make Call of Duty better. Because at the end of the day, all of us want the same thing. We want the best Call of Duty we can get. And obviously people are going to disagree with a few of the things I've said, but I think a lot of the core things, especially death streaks and the leaderboards one, 99.99% of people will agree with that. So I hope you've enjoyed the commentary. I've certainly enjoyed sitting here and doing it. So guys, please comment on the video, saying what you'd think, saying if there's any suggestions that you would do instead of mine or in addition to mine. And guys, please, if you could tweet this at David Vonderhaar or any Treyarch guy, because I would really appreciate if they could spare the time just to watch this video through once. It would really mean a lot to me. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm glad you've sat here all the way through. If you have, guys, thank you and have a fantastic day.